Professor Rohde coming to you from my office, or as my students like to call my technology layer here at Sycamore High School. Today, kind of have you screencasting so I can show you some stuff on my screen additionally to see my face. So we're kind of doing two in one here, and I want to talk about HTML and my experiences with it and how I got my start. Prior to today, I've never, actually earlier this week, never typed HTML per se myself. I've always used Front Page and Dreamweaver, and before YouTube got to be where it is, I utilized my own web address. I had my own domain, and I would use Dreamweaver, Front Page to post videos and stuff like that of my athletes for college coaches to follow along. And one of the great things about those two programs is they're user friendly, and basically you insert this, do that, and it generates the code for you. So this was my first experience actually typing the actual code. And you can see here, it's already submitted in Blackboard, but this is what I came up with. Right here, because our district has web filters, I had to post this picture to a website and then actually embed the HTML into the file here so I could get it to run. So hopefully on your end this picture will show. It's actually a picture of myself and Michael Jordan playing softball, so it's kind of a cool picture. But looking through here, I was able to bold and capitalize, elite, color code. There's a link to my YouTube channel, my contact email, pictures, and I have my boxes and my forms and stuff like that. So basically, this was my first experience with HTML, and it's really, really cool, and I had a lot of fun when I originally made this. I had it real basic, and then I started exploring and adding, and it's still pretty basic compared to HTML out there in the world today, but this is what I came up with. Basically, though, I just want to show you some other stuff I do here. My specialty at Sycamore is I write Google Script. So we are a Google-based district, and I take Google Forms and I write script to help automate a lot of our systems here at the high school. So this here's a spreadsheet that's our admin uses for unexcused absences, and what this does is this is last year's, and it compiles data for our district as far as absences by class, by teacher, by period. But what's great about this is in the past we would use triplicate forms. So our administrators would assign a detention or a consequence, and they would fill out a triplicate form, and then that triplicate form would get mailed home. Well, the triplicate form would get home, but the students a lot of times would take those from the mail before their parents even knew. So there's no possible way for the parents to know what, that the student had gotten in trouble, essentially. So I pretty much self-taught myself, but here's an example of a script that I wrote. So basically, to function my function, it assigns a value to every single cell that you see here that I need to pull from to write my script. So unlike HTML, where you have a lot of, I don't have to explain HTML, you know it very well. We have these different names of these different cells, and each number here corresponds to a cell. And then basically you write an email. So we have our subject. So student name, because it's blue, it will actually pull the student's name from the cell, and then whatever is red is what I have typed. So, if you look here, we have ends. In HTML, it's P's that start the script and end the script. So here, basically what this email does is when you look down here, it takes and generates 4 automated emails. So when the consequence is actually given to the student, the parent gets an email, student gets an email, the case manager gets an email if the student is special education, and if there's a second email on the student's account, the other parent will also get an email. And this is all done instantaneously. And what this email does is informs everybody that there was a consequence assigned for unexcused absences on certain days here, as you can see. And then what it does, it goes through here, and then it fills these categories and actually gives the assigned discipline or consequence for the student. So the student and the parent will know what day the student has detention, if they have after school detention, before school detention, lunch detention, that sort of stuff. So this is just a basic Google script that I was able to write, and it was really, really cool to actually do the assignment HTML for our class this week, because I really learned a whole lot about it. And I think in the future maybe even next week for our journal, I'd like to, instead of doing video only, maybe possibly do video in addition to HTML and combine the two and post them into the actual journal spot there. So basically just using all the tools I've learned so far to continue to expand and expand and expand. So at that point, this is the end of week journal, and I will be uploading to YouTube and posting shortly. Thank you.